Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about auto liability insurance and answer the question, is state minimum enough? First, allow me to quickly explain liability insurance. This is a coverage for bodily injury and property damage you cause to another party, i.e., it's your fault. Liability coverage is used to pay for medical expenses and property damage. And again, something that you caused. Now, I was recently told by one of my clients, all I need is state minimum of liability. So I said, let's talk about it. Now, of course, each state requires you to carry a minimum amount of auto liability. In most states, the minimum coverage is $25.50-$25, meaning no more than $25K per person for bodily injury, not to exceed $50K total for all those injured, and property damage not to exceed $25K. So my client replied, so what's the big deal about that? The premium for state minimum liability is the lowest rate, thus the cheapest you can buy. So I had to tell my client to keep in mind state minimum may not be enough coverage. See, buying the minimum amount of liability coverage can expose you to paying out-of-pocket costs for losses incurred after an accident. The issue is, what if the cost for the loss exceeds the minimum liability coverage? And depending on the loss, the cost may be steep. This is why the insurance industry recommends liability coverage start at $100K per person for bodily injury, not to exceed $300K total for all injured, and property damage not to exceed $100K. Now, don't get me wrong. I do understand state minimum may be a suitable option due to your financial situation. Conversely, if you have financial assets to protect, you may want to add umbrella coverage to your policy. Now, I bring this up because the minimum requirement to add an umbrella is $100, $300, $100 in most cases. So keep in mind, umbrella coverage is definitely worth considering if you have teenage and young adult drivers on your policy. Back to auto liability and state minimum coverage. Now, I would definitely avoid state minimum coverage if possible. Why? The insurance industry has determined that state minimum provides limited protection. So, there you have it, folks. The choice is yours. You must balance circumstance and finance when determining what level of liability coverage works for you. Now, if you've seen my other videos, I've talked about auto liability coverage and most recently, comprehensive and collision. So today, I'm going to put all three components of auto insurance together. So let's review. Auto liability coverage protects other people from incidents caused by you, which includes bodily injury and property damage. And liability coverage is required by law, and minimum liability coverage will differ from state to state. Therefore, you have purchased what is called liability-only auto insurance when comprehensive and collision coverages are not added. From there, I discuss comprehensive and collision coverage. So to review, comprehensive is other than collision coverage. For example, you hit a deer or you have a broken windshield. Now moving over to collision, this is when your vehicle collides with another vehicle and or object, like a retaining wall or a guardrail. Now when comprehensive and collision coverages are added to auto liability coverage, this is called full coverage. Now keep in mind, comprehensive and collision coverage are optional unless required by a lien holder/loan company. Now here are some optional coverages that you're probably aware of, like rental car, underinsured and uninsured motorists, roadside assistance/towing, medical payments, and personal injury protection. Now, let me give you a couple optional coverages that you may qualify for. GAP, ride share, accident forgiveness, and vanishing deductible. Now, there are other optional coverages, so ask your agent what's offered by the insurance company. So there you have it, folks. Auto liability, along with comprehensive and collision, complete the standard components of auto insurance. In the future, look for me to break down optional auto insurance coverages. Now, if this content was helpful, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And if you're looking for insurance or you think you're paying too much, call Jay today. Thanks for listening.